Namaste, Zen Zebras. I just wanted to jump on and say hi. I don't feel well. I feel very sick. What's my symptoms? It started out like a throat thing, and I sneeze 100 times, but then I stopped sneezing. Yeah, my hair still has so much chlorine in it. But anyway, I'm going to run to the store to get some more medicine and maybe some sherbet. I have some sherbet, but I want to get some more. And I did have soup today and it felt good, but now I'm starting to feel bad again. I don't think it's a cold. It feels more like a flu. Anyhow, I know, why am I doing this video? It's stupid. But I figured, why don't you drive with me? Because I was going to turn over a card. I had a really great time visit with my friend Ruby, and we tried to keep it a secret. Ruby and Coral. And I think that we kept a secret mostly for the most part, but towards the end it slipped a little bit. Yeah, I know. I'm just right around the corner from the supermarket. Let me just pull over for a second. A little bit right here for a second because it's shady. Yeah, so you know how I never sleep? Like, I never, go in for naps? Well, first of all, I had to help Devin because he was driving Kana to the other side of town this morning for a job interview, right? So that's a good thing. So I had to help with the animals, so I did. He didn't need that much help, but I was half asleep. But here's the bad thing. I'm a little bit sleepy now because I only had 1/2 of a cup of coffee, and I went to make the second cup, and I didn't finish that coffee, and I didn't make the second cup because I just didn't feel well, and I got up off the couch and went into the bed and actually fell asleep. Fell into a deep sleep because I could not deal. Anyhow. It's probably a flu. It is probably a flu because it started out in my throat and it still hurts a little bit in my throat, or strep throat. Anyhow, I did gargle. Tammy told me to gargle. My brother used to always tell me to gargle, and I hate gargling because I always feel like I'm going to throw up, and I almost threw up. But I did it, and it does feel a little tiny bit better. Anyhow, so this morning around 7, last night, after Ruby and Coral left around 3 in the afternoon, after that we went back to my house, me and Coral went in the water, and Devin and Ruby watched us from the outside. They didn't feel like going in, so we listened to music. It was fun. And then it was sad when she had to go, but then after she left, I was like, I don't feel good. And Devin goes, oh, you just miss your friend. And I said, no, I feel like when I'm around kids, I get these same symptoms. First, it's like itchy throat. Yeah, it could be allergies, who knows. But at the same token, I'm a little bit nervous because my doctor wanted me, the gynecologist called me the other day and wanted me, I was starting to tell you guys, wanted me to get 2 tests done before I go see the gastriol. I can never say it. Gastroenterologist. I know that's saying it wrong, but I don't know how to say it. Okay, let's look at those curls. They cheer me up. All right, because my hair is usually bone straight. So anyhow, and yeah, I got to dye my hair again because, look, all the color came out. It's all like a seafoam mermaid blue. But anyway, so the gynecologist nurse calls me up and says, have you been feeling? I was like, oh, good. And she was like, what about the diarrhea and all that? I go, well, I still have that, but I have IBS, so I'm used to this my whole life. Really from especially when I was pregnant with my son, but when I was pregnant with my daughter, I had to go to a gastro doctor, and he performed the test in the office with the fingers, if you know what I mean. And he was like, "Oh yeah, you got a hemorrhoid up there. Yeah, you got a fissure." It's like, oh my God. And I was like 8 weeks pregnant with my daughter, so there was nothing you could do. And he was like, "Make sure you stay regular. You can't have rocks. You can't be constipated, because that's what's going to make it worse." So I used to take Senokot if I did feel that way. Now I have a thing where I take fiber gel pills, and if that doesn't work, and I try to drink the water, lemon water, regular water, but you always fall off the wagon. But anyhow, so there's always been a gastro problem, and so this time he said, the lady on the phone says, "So before you go to your gastro doctor, that I'm hoping will send me for a colonoscopy, just to make sure there's no polyps, everything's okay. I don't think I have colitis. I have very severe IBS, and it's very much ruled by your head. I got to talk myself down. I got to talk myself out of feeling sad or negative or worried, because your intestines are controlled by that. So, I try to heal everything with affirmations and color therapy and Louise Hay. You can heal your body. But every once in a while, I go the other way and I start looking at videos, and I'm like, I have that. I must have that. I must have that. I must have that. So that's why it's better for me to be busy, like doing videos on readings and cards, or just vlogs. And then I'm going back to work. Probably by next week. I tried to do it today and nobody called me back. There's some kind of paperwork that I didn't finish as usual. And then I was so sick. Devin goes, "Just make a phone call. You can't be too sick to make a phone call." But I don't think I'll be okay by tomorrow. I just want to get the paperwork in so that I can be on the list to, go back. Anyhow. So the doctor says, sorry, I digress. The doctor says, hey, the doctor's nurse says the doctor wants you to get 2 tests done before you have that meeting with your gastro on the 18th of September. And I was like, well, I was trying to get that 18th of September moved up, because in my head, I'm forgetting that we're not going to go to Ireland till April. But I still wanted to push it up, but now it's around the corner. So she was like, yeah, there isn't any openings. And I was like, oh, okay. She goes, you have to get these 2 tests that the doctor wants to order. And I was like, but I've been feeling good. I do have diarrhea. I do have constipation, but I try to handle it. It's not as bad as it was. It's not. It's definitely not as bad as it was. And they have done so many tests on me. I've had CT scans. I was in the ER where they have all the machines and everything, and they never find anything. They told me that they saw a fibroid and a cyst. Then I go to the gynecologist, and she does another test, and she says I don't have. They couldn't find that. They didn't see that. So I don't know. It is on the paperwork that I do have a fibroid and a cyst, but she says that's not the problem. Anyhow, so she wants me to get an ultrasound of my gallbladder. And I was like, I thought they checked out my gallbladder when they did many of the tests in the ER. So, long story short, I don't know if they did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did, but I guess this would just be on the gallbladder. So I was like, all right, I'm not against that. My mother had her very bad gallbladder attacks, and gallbladder attacks can come and go depending on what you eat or drink. Fried foods could bring it on. Popcorn for me could bring it on. And so therefore and then I gave up soda. I'm telling the lady on the phone, the nurse, well, I gave up soda, so I guess that's what healed me. But that's not what healed me. And just to let you know, a side note, I have cheated on that gave up soda thing, because I don't think that it was about having 1 or 2 sodas a day that was killing me. I don't. So anyhow, now this side hurts. This side of my... Anyhow. So she says, okay, so you got to get the ultrasound for your gallbladder. I was like, oh, geez. Okay, how long of a test is that? Usually about a half hour, maybe shorter, maybe a little bit longer. Okay, I could deal with that. Then she says, oh, and there's a second test. And I was like, yeah. And she said it's a nuke. I've never heard of it. Nuke, but the word nuke was in there. N-U-C, nuke. I have it written down at home because my mind was not there. I'm just finishing up with I was getting ready, cleaning up my house for my guests to come, and my head was not there. I was like, this was unexpected. So she said it's a nuke hydro test, something like hydro test for your gallbladder. And I was like, what the heck is that? And she was like, well, I don't really give you instructions on that. You could get both of them done in the same day, or you'll get scheduled for both of them by the person that calls you. And I was like, okay, She goes, well, you could think about it when the person calls you. So the person calls me, and we set up the gallbladder one, right, for August 31st. So that's next week, right? And I was like, okay, I don't hate it. I just can't work on that day, right? And that's fine. So then she says, oh yeah, and also they want you to have the nuke hydro test. And I go, wait a second, could you tell me anything about this? I've never heard of it. I've never seen anything about it. Why would I have to get both tests? What's going on? So she goes, well, there's somebody else that could tell you about it. I can't tell you about it. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to schedule. Is my insurance going to cover it? My insurance covers nothing usually. So, she was like, oh, well, I could always, look that up, and the person will call you tomorrow. The person didn't call me the next day, okay, which was, or maybe they called me, but I didn't see any missed calls on my phone, which would have been Wednesday when I was with Ruby in the mansion. So I don't know. Nobody ever called me about it again. I asked my sister Karen about it because she's a nurse. She said she didn't hear of it. And why is my gynecologist ordering it? And I was like, because she thinks, she ruled out everything that there's anything wrong with my lower parts. So before I get this other test done, go to the gastro doctor. Let's just call him the gastro. They want to rule out, I guess, that it's my gallbladder. Now, I don't think it is, but when you think about symptoms stopping and then starting up again, it could be. My sister Christine had, at a very young age, had her gallbladder taken out. She had a very bad problem with her gallbladder. But I haven't thrown up. I just get nauseous. I haven't thrown up. I had the severe pain, but I haven't been like that. I just, my pH level is off, probably from going in the water. But anyhow, so I looked it up on the old Google, and guess how long it is? Over 2 hours. Over 2 hours. And I'm thinking to myself, this is like people who have cancer get this test. I'm not getting this test. No, if they said it's optional, you don't have to get it, it's optional. Okay, then no, I will not get it. Okay? The other one, I'll get it. I signed up for it only because, maybe they can tell me if there's any problem with the gallbladder, because it does run in the family, and, we'll see. I guess it's a better look at the gallbladder. The gallbladder does run into the intestines in some way, shape, or form, based on the research I've done. But anyhow, it was really scary. Like I'm looking at, and some people, they have these ports, and I'm like, why would they send me for a test that people who have ports, that means they have cancer, or they had some kind of heart procedure or something, And, yeah, why send me to that? I'm waiting all this time since May. I've been waiting since May to figure out what the heck was my problem. Now I feel like I don't have that problem anymore, and you're just looking for a problem to create. But no, like I think I feel I'm better. I think I'm better. I just have other things with the pH. That's why I thought it was all gynecologically related with me. But apparently, maybe that's normal at my age, whatever, post-menopausal. So anyhow, I eliminated that test. If that guy does call me to explain what it is, I'm probably going to still say no. Because it's just like, no, and then I want the colonoscopy. Why can't they just give me the colonoscopy? I am at a good age to get a colonoscopy. I've only got them twice in my life. And the half Seesman colonoscopy, which is a half of colonoscopy when I was like 45 or 44. Yeah, that was early to get that, but I had the same problems. I had, a fissure, I had hemorrhoids, I had diarrhea, I had all this problems, pains, and so, I wanted to make sure that everything was okay. So, anyway, I don't know why they make you go through all these hoops. I'm right in that age group that I should be, Anyway, I just wanted to jump on and say hi. I'm sorry I look terrible. I look like a big round moon head. But that's my head, okay? Anyway, yeah, and I still miss my friend Ruby, and she's getting ready to go on another trip. So have a safe trip, and everybody out there, be safe. Take your vitamins. If you're on Balance of Nature, take all your Balance of Nature, and think a good thought. Do color therapy and heal yourself. Love you.